Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So we are meeting after quite some time. How were your MSTs? Yes, students. So how were your MSTs? How did they go?
Good, ma'am.
All right. So now all set, all prepared, like completing your assignments. We are almost at the end of the semester. How come your classmates are not here today? Any particular reason? Yes, Nikhil, Vishal.
Ma'am, some students are going to college to deposit their fees.
Okay, so they are here to deposit their fee. All right. So you have your no dues coming up, right? All right. So is anybody also attending that workshop about entrepreneurship? All right. So I was planning to discuss, few news which have been of interest, right? Some, incidents which have made it to the headlines, right? So I'll just try to give me 5 minutes. All right, so wonderful to see a few more students. So welcome to the class, Sanju and Sonali. So Sanju, I think you are attending the first class today. Is that so? Never seen you before? Anyway, so I just, I did not get the time to prepare one PowerPoint for you. However, I wanted to, but I managed to find some interesting pages, right? So we'll start with the news, what has been, in news the past few days, right? So you must have heard of this woman. She'll be the second Indian born woman to fly into space, right? So I want to know if any of you knows who was the first Indian woman to go into space. Or
Kalpana Chawla.
yes, wonderful. Right now, Sirisha Bandla, I think that is how the name is pronounced. She'll become the second Indian born woman to fly into space. And she's one of the 5 people alongside Virgin Galactic's billionaire founder Richard Branson to travel to space in the company's fourth crewed test space flight. So I hope you are following this news. Are you familiar with Richard Branson? So he runs an airline as well, right? And now he's also ventured into the space field, and he owns a space company, and that is the company Virgin Galactic. So in Virgin Airlines hai beta. You might have read, because he stays quite in news for his philanthropic activities and also for being a very different entrepreneur. Like he was the one who did away with that compulsion to wear makeup. You must have seen that all these air hostess, the flight crew, the stewards, right, they have to be very well presented, they have to look pretty all the time, right, the makeup has to be on the point. So he was the one who did away with this compulsion that you always have to wear makeup. So this is why he stays in news quite frequently for his decisions, for his viewpoints, for his activities. And now this Indian woman, she is on board his company's space flight, right? So it is a test space flight, and she is also one of the crew members. And then I wanted to discuss with you Wimbledon. So the Wimbledon championship, it just ended, right? So in the boys championships, again, an Indian origin person, Sameer Banerjee, was the boys singles champion. So again, a proud moment for all of us. So no doubt he's an American citizen, but of Indian origin. So he was contesting just his second junior Grand Slam and was coming off an opening round exit at Roland Garros. Acha beta, anybody who's fond of tennis, who follows tennis or sports as such? हाँ जी बच्चे, सारे क्रिकेट फैंस हैं कि टेनिस का भी है किसी को? यस विशाल, सोनाली, what do you say? Nikhil, Sanju? All right. So yes, bachche, so anybody who is, a tennis fan, or you just keep tabs on what is happening? Nobody? All right, that is surprising. So anyway, I just wanted, just an extra trivia for you. So we have these 4 main tennis championships, also called the Grand Slams, right? So first we have the Australian Open, then we have the French Open, then we have the Wimbledon, and the next one will be the US Open. So these 4 are together called the Grand Slam events for tennis, right? And there are various, records के किसने कितने एक साल में चारों कितनी बार जीता है, या otherwise also how many Grand Slam titles do they have. So you must be aware of Roger Federer, right? Then Novak Djokovic, he just won this year's Wimbledon, right? And then we also have that Spaniard, what is his name? So इनमें काफी एक कॉन्टेस्ट सा भी चलता रहता है कि किसके पास ज्यादा रिकॉर्ड है, किसके पास ज्यादा ग्रैंड स्लैम्स हैं, राइट? तो जो फ्रेंच ओपन का जो वेन्यू है ना, उसको रोलैंड गैरोस भी कहते हैं, ठीक है? एक इनका ये बड़ा फर्क भी होता है कि कुछ क्ले कोर्ट्स होते हैं, कुछ ग्रास वाले होते हैं. So it depends who is more, likely to win on what kind of court. So that is also there. All right. So again, this was just, I wanted to share this news that Sameer Banerjee, he won the boys singles champion, and yes, he's of Indian origin. Then we did have, it was Wimbledon, तो आपने काफी इसकी भी सुनी होगी. The prince and his wife and his kids, they also attend this event, and even people from Hollywood and Bollywood, they are invited to this event. Wimbledon has a very strict dress code and also rules about, using curse words. They are not allowed to use any bad words also, right? So this is why Wimbledon stays quite in news. This year Novak Djokovic won it, and it is his 20th Grand Slam. All right. Then any football fans in the class? Yes, Sonali, Sushant, Vishal. Nobody likes football? Hanji bache. How come you're so quiet? Yes, Sushant, Nikhil. Yes, bache, am I audible? All right, so not passionately, just you like to follow. And all right, same with me. I'm not so passionate about it, but it seems interesting once you start following it, right? So all that hype about FIFA, that just gets to you as well. So recently the Euro Cup ended, right? And the final match was between England and Italy, right? So Italy won the match and they won it in the penalty round, right? However, this event, it made news not for who won it, but what followed next, right? So there was a lot of, racial abuse. There was a lot of lashback. There was a lot of, people abusing the England players who are of, people of color, right? So iska aapne padha hoga ki even the social media these companies have been asked to support rather than you know support the efforts to curb this racial discrimination rather than giving voice to the people who are racially discriminatory, right? So inke jo players hain of color, right, the black players, they were being targeted. A lot of hatred was seen, right? A lot of negative comments, a lot of fighting on social media. तो इसका चलो चैंपियनशिप तो खत्म हो गई, इटली जीत गया, बट उसके बाद ऑल दिस थिंग, दिस वाज क्वाइट शॉकिंग फॉर एवरीवन, right? So इसमें this is what I wanted to discuss as well. This was also in the news, and since you believe ये सारी चीजें आजकल काफी डिस्कशन में रहती हैं that we need to be more sensitive, कई बार हम हमारे मुंह में से भी ऐसे निकल जाता है. Even Indians are quite racial in sometimes, right? So just my advice to you that we should be more conscious and more open our minds that different people exist out there, right? So चाहे जितने मर्जी laws बन जाएं, they won't be successful till the time we try to change our mindset. All right. So, and another incident which made a lot of news was the cabinet reshuffle, right? So you must have heard this news. ये तो काफी ज़्यादा cover हुई है that the Prime Minister Modi, he dropped some of the ministers and he picked some of the new. तो काफी सारा एक reshuffle सा हुआ है in the cabinet, right? काफी new players आए हैं and some of them are quite very highly educated. So everybody is eager to know what work they do, and reasons are being cited that due to the COVID mismanagement, right, there was a lot of criticism. So to overcome that, the Prime Minister, he decided to just get some new faces, drop the faces who did not perform well, right? And also, as you are aware, Punjab and UP, they are going to have polls next year, right? So even keeping in mind the various Vidhan Sabha polls that are coming up, this was more of a political move rather than a move for better government, right? So in case you are interested in politics, though I do remember from the group discussion, very few people are interested in politics, right? So you might have followed this news as well. All right. So talking about other news, which is, which is being discussed a lot, that is the petrol price hike. Hanji, so any idea अभी कितने का हो गया petrol? Hanji बच्चे.
106.
100
100 cross कर गया, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So again, there was a time when we were younger, so I remember petrol was around 40, 47, 50. मतलब मुझे इतना याद है. Like when I was, of that age when you are aware and you start noticing things around. So I remember reading the price to be around 40s also. And imagine now it has doubled, right? So I think in all our lifetime, it is going to double and triple and whatnot. So this also made it to the headlines that petrol finally crossed 100. पहले तो सिर्फ राजस्थान में हुआ था, then gradually इसका price और hike करते गए and now it is 105 in Mumbai and 100 in Chennai, right? Since it also depends on what tax the particular state is charging. जैसे आपने सुना होगा चंडीगढ़ एंड पंजाब के प्राइस का काफी डिफरेंस होता है, चंडीगढ़ एंड हरियाणा के प्राइस का डिफरेंस होता है, राइट? सो पीपल हु विजिट गो टू चंडीगढ़ दे प्रेफर गेटिंग द टैंक फुल देयर, चाहे वो मतलब कितना ही फर्क पड़ता होगा, बट इट इज जस्ट दैट वी फील दैट यस दैट इज इट इज चीपर देयर, राइट? क्योंकि पंजाब में पेट्रोल पे वैट ज्यादा लगता है. सो काफी देर से अभी तो इन जून एंड जुलाई एंड इवन मई फ्रीक्वेंटली हाइक हुआ है कि कितने पैसे से इंक्रीज कर दिया, 1 रुपी से कर दिया, 2 रुपी से कर दिया, राइट? एंड करते करते अभी सी इट हैज क्रॉस्ड 100 ऑलमोस्ट एवरीवेयर इन एवरी स्टेट, right? So in 8 state capitals it is over 100 and it got costlier by 35 paise in the national capital, and diesel prices have remained unchanged but वो भी काफी expensive हो ही चुके हैं. See in Delhi and Mumbai it is usually higher. Why? क्योंकि वहाँ पे VAT ज़्यादा लगता है, right? इधर हमारे पंजाब में compared to Delhi and Mumbai price कम होता है, right? So 33rd hike in petrol rates since 4th May, right? When state-owned oil firms ended an 18-day hiatus in rate revision they observed during assembly elections in states like West Bengal. So again, this is also linked with politics. Ab jab aage aayegi, so again perhaps we won't have any price hike for some time while the elections and the campaigning is going on, right? So all right, let's discuss another thing. तो अभी पंजाब में काफी ज्यादा पावर कट्स लग रहे हैं, यस और नो?
यस मैम.
सबके घर ही जा रही है लाइट? ऐसा तो नहीं है किसी के घर पूरी टाइम आ रही है लाइट?
नो मैम.
है ना? सो
लाइट के तो कट लग रहे हैं कि मतलब पूछो ही मत.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. एंड डोंट यू थिंक दिस इज सो काउंटर प्रोडक्टिव? वैसे यूजुअली जो मैंने सुना है इलेक्शन ईयर में लाइट नहीं जाती, राइट? सो पंजाब में नेक्स्ट ईयर इलेक्शंस है.
Yes, ma'am.
So I am just curious, are you feeling mad at the government that we have right now for all these power cuts? Or are you okay with it कि चलो ठीक है कोई ना, अगर लाइट जा रही है इट्स फाइन, कुछ टाइम फोन चला लेंगे, टीवी नहीं देख पाएंगे? व्हाट डू यू से? So I just want
मैम
your
फोन की ज्यादा देर तक चलता ही नहीं है मैम. लाइट ही इतनी चल जाती है कि फोन की बैटरी भी जो है वो डाउन हो जाती है, और चार्ज करने के लिए ऑफ कोर्स मैम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चाहिए. इन्वर्टर भी खत्म हो जाता है, तो मैम इतने ज्यादा लंबे लंबे कट लग रहे हैं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के, सब बोरिंग चल रहा है काम. ऊपर से गर्मी
बहुत ज्यादा. अभी चलो आज भी बारिश होगी एंड वी हैड रेन फॉर even the last week also, but उससे पहले the few days they were unbearable, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So yes बच्चे, अच्छा another thing I wanted to ask, and this is not related to our MPD class, right? Wait, I'll just stop screen sharing. Okay. So those of you who are in the class,